politics and protection. Who's in control? From uninterrupted electricity in Abia to political battles in Rivers State and daring rescue in Kaduna State, Nigerians have a lot to talk about this week. In Abia State, residents of Abia had power supply all through Tuesday, even as the national grid collapsed. It was stated that Governor Alex Oti's push for clean energy, turning waste into biogas, is giving the city reliable, renewable electricity. The governor insists this approach ensures maximum electricity while promoting environmentally friendly solutions. Meanwhile, in Rivers State, political tensions continue to simmer. Larry Olayinka, media aide to FCT Minister Nyesom Wike, claims his principal controls the state's political structure, describing Governor Similaye Fubara as weak. He added that the ongoing impeachment proceedings against Fubara and his deputy have been temporarily stalled by a Poltical High Court interim order. However, Dr. Chidi Okeke noted the highlight of complex power dynamics in Rivers State and the influence of federal figures on state politics. In Kaduna State, security forces struck a blow against kidnappers in Kuru local government area, rescuing 8 victims. Acting on credible intelligence, troops dismantled a hideout long suspected of criminal activities. This demonstrates improved intelligence-led operations and coordination in tackling crimes. From reliable electricity in Abia to political battles in Rivers and life-saving operations in Kaduna, this development highlights the challenges and choices shaping daily life across Nigeria. To further help us break down what this means for governance, security, and public services, we're joined by our very own political analyst on First Next News, Kings Ojalo, and we'll go on a short break. When we return, we'll have a dynamic and a lengthy discussion on this topic. I remain your amazing host, Kasituni. Enjoy the show. Welcome back to the show, Citizen Dialogue on First Next News. I remain your amazing host, Kasitoni, and with me in the studio is Kings Ojalo. How are you doing today, Kings?
Fine, thank you.
You look exceptionally different since we're doing competition of Ankara.
Of course, it's the weekend.
I didn't notice that.
At least something should be different as it's been the weekend.
Wow, okay. You look amazing, by the way.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Okay, so based on the Abia State waste to energy claim, it's really ambitious. You know, we have similar experience that once happened in Lagos State, and then in Rwanda. It actually shows that such projects remains small scale due to high demands. This kind of project now, waste to energy, using waste to produce energy, is a very good idea.
Yeah.
But then it's usually very expensive, and it has a lot of high demands like technical challenges and limited output. Now, this brings us to the question, is Abia State bioinitials a sustainable power solution, or is just another promising idea struggling to
It's not a promising
scale?
idea. Since 2024, when the sitting governor launched the constant power supply, we're talking about a dramatic integrated power plant in Abia State, and where he inaugurated it that same year. I think proud since that time till now, Abia State has been enjoying constant power supply, or more or less, or as we speak right now. Abia State in the whole federation, I think is widely recognized as the leaders of a steady power supply in Nigeria. You're talking about the Abia Metropolis. You understand? That is where it was inaugurated and that is where it was launched. So that possibility definitely will not make the grid or the grid functions to affect such state. When the governor came out and said, even with the fall of the grid, the downfall of grid and thereabouts, that has affected other states, widely affected the whole state in the country, Abia State was left out. Why? Because of his efforts. Trying to. So it has been something that has occurred a long time ago. You understand? So in the case of trying to this new in a project of using waste bin to carry out electricity supply and thereabout, I think is a new format that the governor will also keep this project moving in his administration. You understand? I don't think it's a means of trying to raise up his campaign.
But
people of Abia.
Sorry to interject. Lagos State and Rwanda, they try this kind of thing.
Yes.
But it's a good idea, like I said before.
Yeah.
But the cost of maintenance and everything is high.
You see, when I think when we are trying to innovate a project, now we should check our vicinities and capacity. Lagos has the highest population, followed by Kano in the whole of Nigeria. So tell me, how do they think such a project might really be maintained in that kind of a state? Despite the quite a ratio of population in Abia State, at least the governor has already made his own calculation. He has already know the fact that, look, this is the population of my state, and this is the project. This is how the project capacity can. So that is why I inaugurated. That is why I launched it. You understand? So I think if Lagos, because Lagos, in the whole of Nigeria, Lagos happened to be the third state having constant power supply, but in some particular areas, we talk about places like Victoria Island, Lekki, and thereabout, not in the whole state. The second is Akwa Ibom. You understand? Akwa Ibom tend to have, where they created the Ibom power plant. Ibom power plant and thereabout. So you understand? So Lagos, in its own state, in its own capacity, should know what best suits the state, so that it will be able to carry some projects that might really be suitable for that economy. You understand? So Abia, some people will say, I think because the governor is trying to, go for another governorship seat again coming 2027. That is why he's doing no. Governor Oti has always, even during his campaign, when he was coming on as a governor, he stated this, and he's someone who has fulfilled.
And he's really doing very well.
Then one senator from nowhere, let me not mention this, will now start coming and say the governor does not have the capacity to rule Abia coming to 2027. Let us input my own brother. You understand? About two of them like that. Let me not mention names, but it's unfortunate because this is a clear fact that, look, this governor is really working, and he's still going to continue continue working for the fact that Abia, I don't think any governor since
inception of Abia State
has really broken this record. But for this sitting governor to have done this in the whole 36 states, I don't think any governor has.
And I think if I'm not successful.
Now let me get straight. Every governor I can remember during campaign, even my own former governor, Godwin Obaseki, tried inaugurating this, but it could not work. I don't know. If Alex Oti could put more effort in making this dream come to reality in Abia State, then what else do the people want? And
if I'm not wrong, I think Abia State is actually the first state to use a non-fuel vehicle, right?
Of course. Yes, exactly. Yes, followed by probably, I think now they've even started it in somewhere in Sokoto and thereabout. So you could see the effort of this state government.
So Alex Oti is actually working.
Of course. So anyone who is trying to sideline, bites, they are all just, doing that for their own pocket, for their own benefit, trying to campaign for their own rival, someone who is giving them what they call a ugu pocket. So let us be realistic most, and let us see the effort of this man, even in Abia State.
Okay, so while politics control matters, governor's authority also depends on constitutional power, public mandate, and governance performance. Now, the media aide of Wike, former governor of Rivers State, Wike, that we're talking about, Olayinka, he actually said that he made instances, and I'm going to put it like, it's like you having a house. Let's say you are a parent in a house, you're a parent, you have children, and then another parent is coming out to show you how to, not even show you, to train your own children for you. not like another parent discipline your children for you, but you are the father, you cannot discipline your child. An outsider is coming to discipline your child. This is the case of Wike and Fubara, where Wike is ruling over 27 local governments in Rivers State and leaving just 3 for Fubara. Now, Olayinka said Fubara is a weak governor, that he should come out and apologize or prostrate to his principal, which is Wike. Now, does leadership come from dominating party structure, or is it from delivering results and earning public trust?
Well, first of all, let us know who is Larry Olayinka. That is the first thing we have to look at now. He's someone who has been engaged in journalism and also in media, public relations, you know, and probably several other government occasional cases and stuff like that. He has also served as a special assistant to public communication, even in his own state. Served that is, we're talking about the life of Ayodele Fayose, you understand, in the year 2018, you understand. So I think he pretty know much about governors and government. Now, why am I saying this? He was in the journalism field, social media and social interference and whatever, but I don't think Larry Olayinka was ever elected as a governor or maybe as a chairman or as a senator for him to start aide, for him to start coming out to try to give a sitting governor an advice that you should go and just as it was written in the headline, to portray to him, and you understand, so that they will reconcile the political crisis between the FCT minister and talking about Fubara. Now, but
let me ask you, is Fubara really weak?
No, when you sometimes when we say someone is weak, you understand, you should look at the density and capacity of that person. You know? When there are issues, most times, why some individuals tend to be quiet, because he knows the consequences of his grievances when it comes up. You understand? So I think a reasonable person will choose to avoid it rather than trying to showcase himself, and it will cause more chaos in a particular state. I don't know if you get me. So, and then when people come out and say, "Oh, the city governor is weak," I don't think Fubara is weak. I think he's actually doing it for the well-being of the people. You understand? Because if he really has the stage and decide to use his governorship mandate to really attack the FCT minister, we know the crisis that might happen. You understand? So I think the governor has a foresight, and he is looking at it to say, okay, in order to prevent this, let me just keep calm. You understand? Talking about local government and thereabout, look, whatever that might have happened, we all know that it all came from the federal level. The governor, he can on his own start coming to the ballot to say, okay, let me vote governor chairmanship on the. I think staying back and not interfering was the best decision he made. You understand? So it will now be, it now depends on the people. You understand? Fine. The people also made a clemency, trying to say, okay, this was not what we expected, this and that. Now, if the governor knows the accurate thing to do and he tries, applying it, and maybe one individual comes from nowhere and try to propagate it, you understand? Then, on the long run, you will definitely see, the consequences, but not on the sitting governor, because he has tried to follow the right procedure. So it will not tell on the people. We all see everything, you understand? Fubara is really working, and is really making a good choice.
And they're not even allowing him to work, because ever since he got into power, it's almost like from one problem to another. Now, not doing
when you say not allowing him to work, definitely I don't think these issues between him and then the FCT minister should really, is a governor who tends to work, who really has the people in mind, no matter the situation, will definitely continue the obligations he has promised the people. You understand? What they need now is the judiciary intervention in this matter. You understand? That is all. But if you look at it, our judiciary system is weak.
Correct.
So you understand? Some people will say, yes, we should all depend on God and thereabout. So God, yes, indeed, God has the ultimate, the final say of everything. But nevertheless, my own urge to the governor is continue, be steadfast in whatever you are doing. You understand? That will mandate your re-election, and you know, if you are willing to come back again as a sitting governor. I don't know if you understand. So for in the case of Olayika, you know, coming out to, you know, let me use the word kabash and, you know, speak out loud, because he has a strong back. He called the FCT minister. You know, he should be very careful.
All right, so I'm actually coming to that. You know, he made another statement. He said Wike is not behind Fubara's impeachment. If Fubara doesn't want the impeachment, he knows what to do. He said it's not about political.
Okay, let me ask Larry one question. Let me ask Olayinka one question. Now, I'm not blaming Wike because I wasn't there. But if Wike is not behind Fubara impeachment, if just as he made no, then why is it this obvious? Because I'm seeing this statement as reducing governance to personal power. Why is he now suggesting Fubara to come to the FCT minister and apologize if he is not behind the impeachment proceedings that has been really roundly the air that the governor should be impeached? That is the question. So who is deceiving who? You understand? So you know, we should tell ourselves the truth most times. You understand? Most of these political apparatus, political aid, and they should know what they are saying. You understand? Because even most times, even the president is aid, and you see how they talk and, you know, bring issues. They forget that most of their statements sometimes might even cause a crisis. You understand? So they should be careful. You understand? No matter the backings they have and everybody, they should be careful with whatever they say. Okay, you don't just expect a city governor, irrespective of who brought him out or who supported him in the earlier run of his political affair, to come and start portraying to an FCT minister, or because they want settlement in one or two beef they had. Okay. All right. So thank you so much, King Ojalo. We'll go on a short break now. When we return, we'll be discussing the Kaduna rescue. Stay with us. Welcome back to the show, Citizen Dialogue. I remain your amazing host, Kasitoni, and still in the studio is Kings Ojalo. Now, Kings, while Kaduna rescue is commendable, isolated, intelligence-led operations like repeated but still ineffective anti-kidnapping attacks continue. Now, we have similar scenario that played out in Samvara some time ago. That was in 2023, where military operation rescue adopted school children, but then the insecurity and the kidnapping did not stop in that state. It still continue, meaning that one-off successes cannot guarantee long-term security improvement. Now, looking at what happened in Kaduna State, the rescue of the kidnapped people, them having to uncover the bandits' hideout, does this mean, can this intelligence-led operation have provided sustainable security? Can it provide sustainable security in Kaduna State? Because don't forget, in Samvara State, same thing happened back then in 2023. It still didn't stop. So this one that has happened again in Samvara, in Kaduna, will it stop? Will it lead to security? If you recall when we talked about this, so this same insecurity in I think in one of our discussion we talked about, I think is the one that happened in was it in Kano or so, Gombe, thereabouts. You know, I made mention of, you know, internal, you know, forces that are sponsoring this banditry. Now, if you look at it, the news of banditry is like an everyday thing. You understand? We had one in Gombe yesterday. Yes. I think the weekend we had one in Kaduna, in Kano. We've heard of some in Borno. So many, you know. Even Ekiti. In Ekiti. Is it what they call it? Kwara, thereabouts. Even as is even coming to the south gradually now. I think in Ibadan recently. So it's not everyday routine. So to tell you that these people have mandated themselves in so many regions, and as a matter of fact, almost all the regions in the country, even here in the south, you understand? Yes, it's just that it's not that obvious. That is just it. It's not that they've not really showcased themselves like the way it's been done in the northern region of the country. You know, it's not a routine thing. And I also said, I think the chief of armed forces, which is the president, he should make himself more available and also show his presence, within the military forces and let him know that, yes, I am very, very serious to tackle this insurgency raveling the country.
He actually declared state of emergency.
Well, it's declaring state of emergency without making much effort, in order to tackle the menace happening in those regions. Okay, look at what happened in Badurum, Kasa Forest recently. Now, if you look at it, there was 18 of them. Yes, there were 18 of them that were rescued by the troops of Section 7. That is, they call them the OPEP, yes, a joint force with the forest guard and also local hunters. You understand? Because most of this military, yes, they are inbuilt forces, but they also need support of those who are very, very familiar with the forest.
Yes.
And then that was how they were able to rescue these kidnapped victims. I think about around 4:23 p.m. in the evening, you understand? So that was where they were recorded, and before they could get there, this the kidnappers, the bandits had fled. And seeing force coming or seeing troops coming to come and definitely for the sake they don't want to die or for their
so they're scared of dying.
Come on, they have to flee for their life, you understand, leaving the victims behind. Well, that was a good team, and I think it was also a good effort from this team. But the thing is this, having continuous incident like this on a daily basis, this is what the president should be looking at.
Okay.
Well, I mentioned earlier that, look, there are hidden forces, there are hidden cabals who are behind this this bandit, taking out this operation on a daily basis until I will keep saying it, until they are being fished out. I'm telling you, that is when all this menace will stop. You understand? I don't know if you get me. That is when it will stop, because there is no way, because it's just like someone, how will I say it now? I came to your community, you've been a chief, and I've given you as a chief, then I've given you some huge amount of money. And I say, okay, sir, I want to take over this portion of your land, and I want to make my activities. And you give me freely with a due certificate. That is what is happening. These people, they have been given, it looks as if they are now authorized to dominate some some regions, that they are making this their operation. Look, so you understand. So that is what is really happening. Until they really find, the hidden, the individual, the sponsors, people who are in the government system sponsoring them, that is when it will come to an end. If not, we will keep hearing. Tomorrow you might even be surprised, another news will come out again. Probably in that same sub-region of the country. Or if care is not taken, even here in the south, you hear another one.
No,
probably because they don't really have sponsors here. You understand? Yes. So probably because the most of their sponsors are there, they are big, great allies there in the north and north central. Maybe that is why it's so crucial there. So probably if they start having sponsors here, definitely you start hearing tremendous dirty news like this. So it's unfortunate that
so you said the president should start this cleanup,
of course,
from within. So how will he fish out those people that are the brain behind those things that is happening?
Cassie, see, we have more than intelligence personnel who can.
Okay, let me bring it to the house. What is the purpose
of the DSS?
Let me bring it.
Is it just to start tracking politicians, start tracking what they call it, pastors and people who speak wrongly against the president? Is that their duty? What's the purpose? The EFCC is it only by going after Yahoo boys?
Sorry, let me bring it.
They can handle these things. I know what I'm saying.
In your house, your family, there's a very powerful person that is always causing chaos in the family. Now this person, you won't know the person is doing this thing, and at the same time he's being nice to you, being nice to everybody, acting so innocent, so close, so yes. Now how will you know that this person is the brain behind all the problem that is happening in the family?
Very simple. At least find that time to investigate the well-being of that person. Yes, accept the kind gesture he or she is bringing to you, but at the same time, make sure you monitor the person in your own leisure time. You understand? There is no way you will not know, you know, the negative operation or the negative side of that person. So also apply to the federal level. Our president, you understand, they should say, okay, you even mentioned my own house. Probably I might not have one or two intelligent personnel who will help me carry out. But we have more than intelligent security forces. Name all the forces in this country. You want to tell me there are countless number of security forces in this country that can handle this thing. What are their use? Is it just to be catching innocent lives, to be probing individuals who are always saying sabbat talks against the president? Is that what they were mandated for? Let's tell ourselves the truth. These people were really created. These organizations or these security institutions were created for all this purpose. Let the president make use of them. You understand? And most especially like the DSS. The DSS, give them the go ahead and let them look away of all this. Okay, most of the time you hear them and Showore, who is even speaking for the people, speaking against politicians who are rivaling the sources of this country. That is who the DSS are usually going after. Let them go after people who are behind this banditry causing menace in the country. You will see if it will stop.
All right, thank you so much, Kings Ojalo. It's always been a pleasure having you, having to discuss the Abia State's clean-up energy, to the political battle shaping Rivers State, and the security operations protecting lives in Kaduna. True progress depends on leadership, innovation, and safety that reach every citizen. And that's it on Citizen Dialogue. I remain your amazing host, Kasitoni. Do have a blessed day. Stay informed, stay engaged. Bye for now.